Good evening, all.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
We'll wait for just 3 more minutes and we'll start. Let others also join. Just one question I have. Have you guys studied NumPy previously, like any other sessions or something like that?
No, sir. You just sent the tutorial at the beginning.
I just sent only the tutorial. Uh,
So it was not about NumPy, but it was related to the arrays.
okay. Okay, if I remember correctly, like I took one NumPy class, I think so. Like not related to Python 3, but before did I take any class for you guys?
Sir, like only for
Sorry,
pandas.
Abhishek. Okay, pandas I taught. Okay, since NumPy is not taught, right, basic one. Have you guys studied sorting and non-sorting of list? It can be like sorting related to array also, dictionaries or something like that. Anyone? Like, have you studied like how to sort an array or something like that? On the basic, like it can be related to large numbers, those kind of things. Well, right.
I don't think so, sir.
Okay. So, because in today's class, what I thought was that I thought like basic NumPy was taught before, and I thought I'll go for next topic, but that I need to plan for the very basic one, NumPy arrays, right? So it's important for future classes. So from now onwards, it will be completely related to NumPy pandas and those kind of things. So because since you already learnt about arrays, dictionaries, and lists, right? So these are NumPy pandas, and those concepts are advanced topics related to the same concept of arrays, dictionaries, and those kind of things. Okay, so today we'll see different types of sorting in Python because it will be useful in NumPy arrays later and pandas. I'll share my screen. Just give me a minute. My screen is visible, right?
No, sir.
No. Okay, so we'll go with the basic sorting. Like I'm just creating a new array. Uh, so I'll just give a variable called as numbers over here.
So your screen is not visible.
Random numbers are input into these numbers.
So your screen is not.
Sorry, Abhishek, did you mention something?
Your screen is not, sir, not visible.
Sir, your screen is not visible to any one of us.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, but we can't see your screen.
Just share one second.
Yes, sir. We can see it now.
Okay. So okay, just what I did was like I just created a variable with random numbers inside it. So if I want to have this number sorted, like if there are, let's just say for example, there are 100 numbers, I can go through each number and sort it out, right? So Python has some inbuilt functions to sort it out. So if I want to arrange this in ascending order or descending order, so based on what I desire, like those functions I can call and I can sort these numbers. So this is an array as of now, numbers is an array. So it has ascending underscore sort equals to, and what I'm doing now is like I'm just calling a inbuilt function called as sorted. And if I give number, right, so it would automatically sort according to ascending order. So I print this out. So if you can see this random numbers is there, right? So it's sorted through ascending order. So 2, 3, 50, 75. And then like if I want to do descending order of the same, so what I'll do is like using the same function, um, descending order sorted. So using the same function, I'll call the array. And then what I'll do is like I'll have another parameter called as reverse. Reverse is equals to, I have to mention true. So if I do this one, what it does is like it will sort the numbers based on descending order. So highest to lowest. Right? Descending order. Okay, so this is the one method of sorting based on ascending and descending order. So if I want to do it manually, like how should I do?
Um, you could use a for loop to create a new sorted array, sir.
Okay, that is right. Can you elaborate, like, can you explain a little bit like how to do that? Let's say,
We could iterate through each item and then check if it was like greater than the previous number, and then put it according to it in the array.
okay, that is correct. What you told, it's right. Like iterate through each number, just check whether that number is uh, lower or higher based on the previous number, and then like kind of append that one. So after appending, like if you are doing for the second or third iteration, so what we do is like we need to check for the complete array, and then we need to do. So I'll show that one example. Anyone heard of bubble swap, a bubble sort method?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, what method I told, right? So bubble sort, like it checks every number each time and then just kind of moves the numbers here and there, like back and forth. So it just compares your adjacent items and kind of arrange those based on the highest number and lowest number. So what I'll do is like I'll create one function. Mm, so I'll define a function. So sort. So what I'll do is like for this function I'll just pass the array. So that is just mention it as array. It's arrays I'll mention. So first what I'll do is like I'll just try to take the length of the array because I need to go through each iteration, right? So what I'll do is like I'll take the length of the array. So what I did is like for the length of the arrays, like I've used the inbuilt function called as length. So length of arrays. So in the for loop, I'll iterate through each of the length range of length. So it will take all the uh, size of the array. I need to check my adjacent array, right? So what I'll do is like for I'll add one more for loop for j range of 0 to so enough minus I, then minus 1 I need to do. If you see this logic, right, n of minus I minus 1. So what we're trying to do is like inside the loop, we are using one more for loop, right? So if the length is like, for example, if length is, let's just say, as of now, 1, 2, 3, 7. 7 is there. So length of array is 7. So length is 7. So if I start with the first array, right? So first, that is 0. I'll start with 0. 7 minus 0 minus 1. So it will take the 6 numbers and then it will try to compare with all the numbers. It will take the first number, compare with all other 6 numbers. So then if I go for the second number, right? So second number is I is equals to 1 during that time and n is 7. So what we do is like n is 7 minus 1 minus 1. So it will take 5. So it keeps on iterating for continuous length of the array and it will check for each number. Just show you in WordPad. Mm. So for example, we have this array, right? 223 and this. So during the first iteration, what I'll do is like, I'll take 2. Then what I should do is that remaining arrays is there, right? So that is from 3 to 100. So I take this 2 and then I'll compare with all the other numbers 350, 75, 80, and 95. So I'll see whether this 2 is greater than this next number, next number, next number, and so on. And then if it is greater or something like that, like it will be swapped with this corresponding numbers like which we select. So if I give, for example, I'll change this number to 72. So first I'll check for 72. I'll take first. I'll compare it with 3. So 72 is greater than 3, right? So 3 will remain like sorry, 3 will go to the previous state and 72 will come over here in the first iteration. So then what I'll do is like, I'll take the second number 72 once again, and then what we do is like, we'll check for the second iteration, right? So we'll take the other remaining numbers 100, 75, 50, 75, 80, and 95. So we'll compare with these numbers. So after that, what happens is that, so 100. So if you see 72 is less than 100, so it will remain in that place itself. So after that, 3, comma 72. And then what I'll do is like, next 72 is sorted out, right? And then I check for this 50, remaining 50 numbers. Then I have this third number, 100. So I'll take the whole process once again. So I'll just check. Let's see. So 50. So I'll check whether this 100 is greater than 50 or not. So it is greater. So what happens is that, so 3, 72, 50, and 100 comes. After that, 75 will be there, 80, and 95. So then what I'll do is like, I'll take this 100 once again. So I have to start from over here itself, right? So 100 it will start. So remaining numbers from 75, I'll try to compare. So 100 is greater than 75, right? So what happens is that gets replaced over here. So similarly, remaining for 80 and 95, it will iterate. So I take this 100 once again, then 80 and 95. So it's greater than 80. So this would become 100. Then once again 95 is there. So last, once again I take this 100, compare this number. So at the end, so this is for the first iteration, how it will happen. So if you see over here, it took the first number compared with the remaining numbers. So it just checked for the first number. So what happened is that 72 was greater than 3. So it moved 72, like it swapped the places with that number. Then 72, it compared with the remaining numbers. So 100, 50, 75, 80, and 95. So 72 was less than 100. So it remained in that same place itself. Then it took the number 100. Then it compared with other numbers. So 50, 75, 80, and 95. So 100 is greater than 50. So it swapped its place. So once again, 100 it took. For the remaining numbers, it tried to cross verify. So 100 was further greater. So it swapped the place. So this is for the first iteration. Now once again, since we are given for loop, first for loop, right? So this is second iteration. So once again, it will try to check 3, 72, 50, and so on. So 72 is lesser than 50, right? In this second iteration, it will change in that uh, place. Second iteration. So any doubts in this as of now, like what I explained? So this concept is understood, right? This bubble sort. So you'll just check each and every number with this adjacent values and you'll just swap the numbers.
So can you explain it again?
Okay, so I have this numbers, right? So this is an array. So what is that? What randomly I have given some numbers. So what we'll try to do in bubble sort is that, so we'll try to swap like kind of go through each and every number. We'll compare each and every number with its adjacent number. That is the next number. So we try to compare that one if it is greater or lesser, right? So depending on our application. So as of now, like we are sorting them in ascending order. So we'll check whether the left number is greater than or equal to the number in the right. So if it is greater, like what we do is like we'll swap. So if it is less than that number, we'll not swap. We'll keep that number in the same place itself. So in the first iteration, for loop is there, right? So if you have seen, I've used two for loops. So for I and for j. So this one, first iteration. So for first iteration, what is the value of I?
So 72.
No, I is not the value. See if you can see over here, for I in the range of length. So we have taken the length of an array. Length of an array is length of an array is 7, right? So what is this for I in range of length?
So it's just the length of the array, like how many elements are there in the array.
Okay. Range of arrays. So 0 to 7, right? Six. Okay. This is what range of array means. So I've given this off, but it's usually like when we mention, we'll take that one. So for I in range of length. So this is 0 to 6. So that is total 7 values are there. Then I given one more for loop, right? So what I'm doing is like for each and every iteration, right? I need to keep on repeating that afterwards. So what I did is that, so for example, for first iteration I'm mentioning, mm, n is equals to 7, right? 7 minus 0 minus 1. So as of now, there are 6 values. So then in second iteration, what happens is that 7 minus 1 minus 1. So that is equals to 5. So I keep on reducing these numbers. So I have to compare those numbers, right? So after that. So for that reason, I've used this logic. So n minus I minus 1.
So n is
As of now, okay, I've given n, okay. So this has to be length. Sorry. Okay, this is length, not n minus 1, length minus 1. Then 7 minus 2 minus 1. So that is equals to 4 and so on. It will be 3, 2 and 1 so later. So this is how like we just check those remaining numbers and we'll try to sort that one out. So during the first iteration, what happens is that, so 72, like we'll take this first number 72 is there, right? So we'll consider this one and we'll try to compare with the remaining numbers. So 350 and so on. So first we'll try to compare with 3. So what happens is that 72 is greater than 3, right? So ascending when we are doing, like we'll swap the place. So 3 will come to this 0th array place and 72 will come to this first array. Then what happens is that 72, I'm trying to compare with the remaining numbers. So 100, 50, 75, 80 and 95. So I'll compare this 72 with 100. So 72 is lesser than 100. So it remains in that place. And then I'll take the next number 100 and I'll try to compare with the remaining numbers. So if you see over here, right? So previous. So this is completed. So for the second iteration when we come, so we'll start with once again 3. So we'll compare with the next number. 3 is less than 72. So it remains in that place itself. 50. I'm sorry. So after this comparison, so we'll have the same. Okay. So after this, we'll take this number 72 once again. And then we'll try to compare with the remaining numbers. So what we get, 72 is greater than 50, right? So it will swap the places. So then we'll check this 72 once again. So we'll compare with these remaining numbers. So if you can see 72 is lesser than 75, so it remains the same. So then I will take this 75 and then we'll compare with remaining numbers. So 75 is less than 80, right? So it will remains in the same place and then we'll get the array. So then we'll compare this 80. So it remains in the same place and so on, so on, so on. Any doubts on this explanation you can ask now. You can write the logic then.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So can you show the first page again, the Word document, which so can you scroll down a bit? So in first iteration, like 72, it's greater than 50, but it stops there. Like then it checks for 100, like 72,
Um,
it's greater than
see,
3, and then
see what happened is that 72 and 100 it compared, right? So 100 is greater than 72. So it remains in that same place. So what we do is like we'll try to take this 100, then we'll try to compare with other numbers. This is an like kind of seeing like each and every element adjacent to each other. It's not like for the first iteration itself, we'll compare 72 with all the numbers one at the same time, and then we'll try to move. It doesn't work that way. Bubble sort is like kind of checking each and every element each and every time for that complete iteration. So if this doesn't swap right, so it will take the next number and compare in that iteration.
Oh, yes, I understood.
Because what we are doing is like we are using two for I loops, right? So like 1 to 7. So we have to do it 7 times. We have to check it 7 times. So each and every time when we check, like we'll just compare those numbers and then swap accordingly.
So in the first iteration, like it just stops if it doesn't change its place.
Yeah, it stops and just go for the next number and checks the number greater than or equal to its next number.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got.
So I'll continue with the coding part. Yeah, others, any doubt?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Abhishek.
Like I'm facing an adult. Can I share my screen? Yeah, I sent it in chat box.
So you got this error or something like that?
Yes, sir. So the terminal I got here as like indentation error expected an indented block after for statement in line 19.
See that length minus I minus 1 you're done, right? So remove
Yes.
that space. Check once again. So length minus I minus 1. Remove that spaces and check once. Okay. So what we need to do is like we need to use if statement. I'm checking whether that current number is greater than the next number. So we'll start with J, right? So this is going for the first number. Mm, If J is greater than this. So what I'm doing is like I'm just checking whether the current array element is greater than the next array element. So if it is true, what I'll do is like I need to append or swap places, right? So arrays of j, comma, arrays of j plus 1. So what I'll do is like equals to arrays of j plus 1, comma, arrays of j. So what I did is like if the I'll show this logic. If this 3 and 72 is there, right? For example, I'm taking. So this is arrays of 0. Then arrays of 1. So what I'm trying to do is like arrays of 0 and arrays of 1. What I'll try to check is that if this is greater than arrays of 1. Sorry, for 72 it will start, right? 72 and 3. So arrays of 0 is 72, arrays of 1 is 3. So I'll just check whether this 70, like whatever the array indexing of 0 value is greater than array indexing of 1. So if it is true, what I'll do is like, if you see over here, right, arrays of j. So just copy this one. Arrays of j. Like this one is 0 and this one is 1. What I'll do is like, I'll replace these numbers with 1 and 0. If that is true, then I'll do this one, or else I'll break from this for loop. So if I'll use this if statement also. So it should be understandable, right? In order to do this one, I need to add a flag. So wrapped, I'll make it as, so this is just a flag I'm using in order to control this for loop, for and if loop. Mm, so this swap is, so I swapped over here, right? So inside this, the number has been swapped. So make it as 2. Swap. So if I have not swapped, right? So what I'll do is like, I'll break out of this loop and I'll do the iteration once again. So any doubts in this logic?
So can you explain line 25 again?
925. Okay. What I did is like, so we need to change the numbers, right? In that particular array, like this corresponding number with the next number, we need to swap, right? So what I did is like, I just checked whether this indexing value is greater than the next number. For example, 150 over here, right? So j value is 2, and then j plus 1 value is, sorry, 0, 1, 2, yeah, 2 and 3, 150, right? If I try to compare, for example, I'm giving 150. So mm, j value is 2 and j plus 1 value is 3, right?
Yes.
So then what, okay, so what I do is like arrays of, so I need, if this condition satisfies, so if this condition satisfies, right? So if this number is greater than the next number, so what it does is like, I have to tell arrays of 2. So this will, this is just like your indexing. So arrays of 2 and arrays of 3. So what I'm trying to do is like, I'm just giving the index value over here. So whatever is there, it has to be replaced with arrays of 3 and arrays of 2. So I'm just interswapping the values over here.
Yes, I got it.
Need to return.
So if it's not greater than,
If it is not greater, then it kind of moves out of this J low and it will start once again.
oh yes.
Check you on this number, right? Mm, I'll call this sorted bubbles. So I'll call this function. So function is known as sort. Mm. So print vowel sound and arrays. See if we can see over here, right? You can see 2, 350, 75. What I'll do is like I'll just print this arrays inside this also. So for each and every loop, right? So you get to know like what's happening. So print. So if you can see over here, right? 72. Okay, I take 72. Just so if you can see what's happening inside each and every loop, right? So you can see over here. So you got the idea, right? Zeroth iteration, first iteration, and second iteration. Share this one, so you'll get the better idea. Properly visible, right?
So can you show the code again?
Others, any doubt? So if others are not having any doubt, right? So I can ask some doubts I have to you, like based on your understanding, you can answer. Mm, yes. Okay. Mm, Sibinath, like what did you understand from this one? Sorting.
Sir, so first, like we'll just give a variable called number, and inside that we'll be having many numbers. They will be like rearranged. Then we'll use many iteration to arrange them in the ascending order. For that, we'll just take a first number, then compare with rest of the numbers. Then if it is greater, it just swap. If it is lesser than a particular number, then it just stay at the position where it is, then it checks the next number, then that number will be compared with rest of the numbers. If it is greater, it keeps on swapping.
Okay, understood well. Okay, fine. Then, Jaswin,
Yes.
your understanding on this concept, bubble sort?
Yeah, sir.
No, I'm just asking, like, what is your understanding on this one? Can you explain?
Okay, sir. Sir, you mean about bubble sort?
Yeah, bubble sort. Can you explain that one?
Yeah. Okay, sir. For example, if we take something through a list that the numbers are not arranged in a proper way, we can use the sort method to uh, uh, sort the numbers in an ascending order or a descending order the way we need, and goes through the list again and again.
Can you explain that one logic? You're just given the basic understanding of sort, but can you explain that logic what we did for bubble sort?
So it swaps the numbers if it is in a wrong order.
Okay. So how do we do that one?
So can you repeat it again?
So why and how do we do that one? I'm just asking that logic. We are comparing those numbers. I got that point. How
Yeah,
and
sir. For example, if the numbers are not arranged in an order, to do that we use bubble sort.
Okay. No, you're just rounding up in circles and answering the same thing. I'm asking the logic behind that one. What is the logic behind bubble sort?
Answer. I didn't get the concept. What I saying.
See, whatever the answer you're told, right? You're just answering in the circle as the same thing what you have explained for everything. I want the logic how bubble sort works.
Uh, so
Okay, Justin, I'll give you one task.
yeah.
Okay, go through different resources, different references. So in next class when we assemble, right? The first thing is that you need to explain it to the class, like what you understood, and you need to show the output.
Okay.
Yeah. So one more person. We'll take Teresa. Can you explain the logic behind this bubble sort?
Yes, um, like it will sort the numbers in a list. Like first, while using that function, that we'll be using loops such that each it like the algorithm it will compare the numbers adjacent to each other, seeing like whether it is greater than the one next to it. In that way, it will be repeating until all the it will be repeating again and again until the final list that is like that we get after all the repetitions will be in a sorted order. Only then the value will become like true, and then only then will it stop. and then we'll get the sorted one.
Okay. What you told is right. Mm. For your assignment, what I need to do is like I need you to do descending order sorting in bubble sort. So that is your assignment. So previous assignment I didn't receive most of your assignment itself. So I need that also. So make sure you complete both of this assignment. Just update in the group.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Tanishka.
So, can you explain like the output in the terminal, just the first iteration?
Okay. So this is the first iteration, right? So this is the first iteration. This is my actual number.
So, we cannot see your screen.
I didn't share. Just a minute. I'll share. It's visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I did is like I just copied into the WordPad. So if you see this iteration, right, each and every iteration, this is the actual number. So this is the actual array. So what we do is like this will start. Initially we'll start. So we'll go inside the second while loop. So that is the J loop. I'll call it as J loop and I loop. So it doesn't confuse you. So inside the I loop, at the first iteration, it will take the complete array. Okay. So then what we do is like we'll try to compare the first number. So first number with the next adjacent number. So we compared that one, and then what we did is like we swapped that number 3 and 72. Then we take the number 72 and compare it with 100. So if you can see, 72 is greater than, sorry, 72 is less than 100. So it stays in the same place. So then we'll take this 100 and compare it with next number 150. So 100 is greater than 50, right? So it will swap the place. Then we'll take this 100 and then 75. If you can see 175, 100 is greater, right? So once again it swapped its place. So after that, we'll compare this 180. After this comparison, 80 is less than 100, so it swapped its place. And then once again, we'll compare this 195. So 95 is less than 100, so it swapped its place. So this is the first iteration. So then we'll sort it once again. So 3, 72, 50, 75, 80, and 90. So this is the inside the I loop. After sorting, after first, this one is there, right? First iteration. So it will go to the second iteration. So then we'll take the complete array. This is just the complete array inside the I loop. So inside the J loop, what happens is that we'll compare this first two numbers. So 3 and 72 is same. So it remains the same. Sorry, 3 and 72. Yeah. Then we'll compare this 72 and 50. So 50 is less than 72, right? So it will swap the place. So then after that, we'll compare this 72 with 75. So it remains the same. 72 is lesser. And then it will compare 75 and 80. So it's the same. And then 80 with 95 and 95 with 100. So it will complete that. After that, it will try to see once again 350, 72, 80, 95, and 100. So inside this I loop, and then it will try to compare and change the places. So what I given is that there is one logic, right? So I've used flags over here. So if didn't swap or something like that. Swapped is equals to false, right? So it didn't swap. So I'll break out of this one, and I don't have to do it like continuously, like 6 times or something like that. If I remove this flag, it will do that 6 times completely, and it will give me that output. So any doubts on this still?
No, sir, I got.
Sir, I'm facing a error. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, I can share. Line 27. This object is not callable. Can you show me your array? Number is fine. Okay, arrays, you're calling arrays. Go down for I in range of LE.
So in line 27, the bracket is not correct.
Oh yeah. Make it a square brackets. You're getting right. My question, like, I need feedback from you guys. Did you find this class interesting, or like kind of it was over your head or something like that? Because from now onwards, like what we do, right? So it will be related to NumPy, pandas, and these kind of things should be involved. So that is why I'm asking. So Arufa, can you give feedback on this class?
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sir, it was like understanding class because it was a simple sorting and or sorting ascending and descending order. So it was quite easy to understand.
So if we give this object oriented kind of things in future, right? So will you be able to like kind of comprehend, understand, or some? Will you feel it difficult or something like that?
So maybe at first it will feel difficult, but later on it will be easy.
Gautam?
Yes, sir.
So how did you feel today's class?
So it was interesting, and we can use this kind of sorting in many ways to implement it in our projects.
Okay, so that is well and good to hear. Can you give one example where you will implement? One example, just it can be simple, anything.
The most it could. So I don't really have an example right now. Can I'll think for it and then I'll answer.
Okay, sure, Gautam. You can think about it and you can explain. So as of now, two people are there, right? So Jaswin and Gautam. Gautam, you can explain, like it's just a simple task, so you can just tell the application in the next class where you'll use this one. Jaswin, you need to revise this whatever is taught in today's class using some references. Then you need to explain it in next class. So okay, we'll end this session. Thank you, everyone.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, Abhishek.
Can you repeat the assignment?
So what you did is, like ascending order sorting, right? What you need to do is like you need to do descending order. The same bubble sort, descending order you need to do. And
Excuse
then
me,
like,
sir.
yeah,
Sir, I got the output, but I think it's like not correct. Can I share my screen?
yeah, you can share your screen. Can I go to that loop? Okay, this arrays of 0 is there, right? Make it j in line 16 at the end.
This one?
Line 16. Line 16.
Uh,
Make it as j. Try now.
yes, I got it.
Anyone facing any issues? So next class I'll see this output also. Okay. Then if there are no doubts, we'll wind up this session. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.